It's August 2021. Now, 2021 is a year that I've been waiting for 3 years. And the reason is Bitcoin tends to have massive gains once every 4 years. And it tends to happen about 4 years later, or specifically 1 year after the halving event. Now, the halving is when the increase or the new amount of Bitcoin that's being minted every block, essentially every 10 minutes, gets cut in half. And it creates a supply shock that hits about a year later. And this usually causes some massive repricing on Bitcoin. In fact, it usually creates a massive pump followed by a pullback. Because funny enough, because of how we behave as humans, pumps bring even higher pumps, because as things are gaining, that's when everyone jumps in, which makes it go absolutely parabolic. What is that always followed by? Dumps, because then price decreases bring further price decreases as many people panic sell out. So what's great in cryptocurrency is as you start to understand these things and time your purchases better, you can benefit from the volatility that is behind Bitcoin. Now, some people say Bitcoin is volatile, so therefore you should stay away. I personally love and adore its volatility, because if you're patient and you just time that volatility, you can make massive amounts of money. So, you want to be even more risky than Bitcoin? Well, altcoins, which if you think Bitcoin's volatile, altcoins are massively volatile, and that can be amazing, and it can be disastrous to your portfolio based on the timing. However, these cycles, you can kind of see them coming. Not completely. Nobody has a magic crystal ball, but you can see events unfolding. And if you've been in the space for a while, you start to recognize some of these events if you pay close attention. It's kind of like the railroad track, where you could put your ear to the railroad rail, and you could hear the train coming in the distance. That doesn't tell you when it will get there. It does tell you that it's coming. And one of the things I've been talking about is Cardano, because it's got some things coming with its smart contracts. And that is likely to pump its ecosystem tremendously. And so when that happens, likely a lot of the things in the ecosystem will have massive gains. As Cardano has gains, the ecosystem has bigger gains. Then my guess is it's going to follow over to some of the other ecosystems or third generation blockchains, and we're already seeing that with Avalanche and Solana and some of the other third generation blockchains taking off. Well, why don't I share with you my screen, and I'm going to show you what I'm looking at. So this is Bitcoin's chart versus USDT, and this is on TradingView, and we're looking at, well, Bitcoin versus Tether, and specifically Binance, and presently we're looking at the 1-day chart. And so you see this big takeoff we had earlier in this year where it went absolutely crazy, and then a big pullback. In fact, if we were to pull out some charting tools, and we pulled out, boy, I'm having a hard time seeing it today. We are looking for the fib retracement. Well, did I use the right chart? Boy, I did. It should be here. Right at the top, because I started. Great. So it comes all the way up to this run, and wouldn't you know, it pulls back right in line with a couple things. The 61.8, which was also here. Now, many people said that this is a head and shoulders pattern, and it was going to dump all the way down here, and there was always that possibility. I didn't rule it out, because there was some suggesting that it was playing out as this head and shoulders pattern. But we were also in the middle of the bull market year, and so there's a lot of buy pressure more than sell pressure trying to push that price up. And so far, looks like the bulls have won, as it didn't complete the head and shoulders pattern and then dumped down like this. It actually broke up like this. Now it's hitting some resistance right around the 50,000 mark, which is a psychological barrier. So where is it going to go from here? I don't know. It could bounce down like this, or if it breaks through, it might come up, come back and retest, and then be off to the races. So Bitcoin is interesting, and I do hold a little bit of Bitcoin, but the truth is I keep an eye on Bitcoin because I want to know what's going to happen with the altcoins. Because during this bull run year, I tend to roll my assets into the more volatile and risky assets called altcoins. So what am I holding? Well, a big part of my portfolio is in the Cardano ecosystem. And so Cardano has been one of my favorites, even when all the FUD was coming out like 2 years ago and their price dropped down to 4 cents and 3 cents. I use that as an excellent buy time because I believed Charles Hoskinson. I believed in his transparency. I believed in the approach that he took to build Cardano. I think that what he's building is relatable to you and I love that. So he doesn't kiss the right fingers in Silicon Valley, and he doesn't bow to them, and so there's some that don't like him. That's cool. I don't care about them. I like that he does his own thing based on the values that he has, and I think most of the people agree with me, which is why Cardano continues to do amazing, even though they're institutional haters of Cardano. And so if you haven't subscribed to Charles Hoskinson's YouTube channel, I suggest you do, because his updates are amazing. So now what's happening with Cardano? Well, they recently broke this line. Let me share with you. There was a big resistance line right here. Now, I didn't go to the very top of the wick. I went to where they have some resistance. And you can see here it broke above, it came back retested, and then my guess is it's off to the races. Now, I did just part with some of my Cardano, and that was a very, very painful thing to do. It's not that I don't believe in Cardano. I think Cardano could go crazy, and maybe even as crazy as $30 this cycle. Now, I know many people disagree with me on that, and that's not even possible. Well, we're going to find out over the coming 9 months, aren't we? So maybe I'm right on that, maybe I'm wrong. But the only reason I parted with that Cardano is because I needed to roll it into more ecosystem projects. Because even if I'm right on that, and who knows, I don't have a magic crystal ball to confirm it. I think that's the upper price of what it can hit this bull run. But let's imagine I am right on that, and so that would put Cardano as doing 12x from here. Well, what if I could roll it into some riskier place, but with teams I feel like make sense to me, and they do maybe during that same time period 20x or 25x. Well, didn't I get further ahead? Now, because of the risk involved with that, I didn't part with all my Cardano, just some of it, to roll it into some ecosystem plays. And I want to share with you some of those ecosystem plays that have my attention in the Cardano ecosystem. So I've talked about many of these before, so let's talk about them again. Spores Network. Why am I bullish on Spores Network? Well, I like the leadership a lot. Duke, who's the CEO and co-founder, fantastic mind. He just thinks about things right. He's a very good networker and fantastic connector. So in addition to being like an NFT platform, they are also building something that's amazing like an NFT marketplace. And I don't know if you caught Alex Becker's show earlier where he was talking about ecosystem plays. Essentially, his thoughts are the same as mine. The ecosystem plays. I think this is one of the projects that he was sharing, though he didn't share the name because with however many subscribers he has, it tends to pump that tremendously. Now, in my Telegram chat, we have a Telegram community. If you haven't joined, you might want to join us. I will warn you, though, no toxic behavior in there. We're pretty fast just to boot people who are toxic, which creates a better environment for all of you who are here to learn and have a non-toxic environment. So feel free to click on the See More and join us in the Telegram chat. Just if you're having a bad day, please don't shout at other people and stuff. It does have a chance of getting you booted because we want a good community where people can come learn and grow. There's some very sharp people in there. Know that I know personally a couple of the people in the channel. They're very high income earners in their daily life. They're very well educated. They understand this sphere very well, even though they're new. And so you get to interact with people like that. And just because they don't have a YouTube channel doesn't mean they're not brilliant. Doesn't mean they don't have great foresight. So what I love in our Telegram community community is that we built one where I like to be in and I like to join in. All right, so Spores absolutely took off, went all the way up to 11 cents. Now, I was talking about them all the way down here, and that is a really attractive price. Just not sure we're going to see that really attractive price again. Look at all the volume that's come in, and then it's kind of leveled, but that's still a lot of volume. So what happened is it looks like some people took some profits, and it retraced back down to here. Well, that's fantastic. Let's look at some of the metrics we like to understand. Now, first, the total supply is 5 billion tokens. Now, that is a lot. Their current circulating supply is extremely lower than that. And so if I had to guess at their market cap, I don't know what it is. It's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 12 million. That's the kind of market cap I like. Now, they have a lot of plans of what they're doing. They're specifically going after the Asian NFT place as well, or that space, as well as an NFT marketplace. Now, why do I like that? Well, in general, the demographic from Asia spends more per capita on video game and video game items than any other group. And so that is a great place to be going after as this technology spreads. And the team from Spores has all the connections in all the Asian countries to do very well there and to get some of the top music artists and some of the top other artists to really grow and expand there. And nobody, it seems, is really going after that space. So the field is wide open for them. Now, though I consider them a Cardano ecosystem project, that is one of the early chains that they're building on. They will have cross-chain compatibility in that you can launch NFTs on Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Cardano, Polkadot, etc. Now, that's not already developed. They're working on that now. I mean, Cardano smart contracts aren't yet live anyway, but that's the direction they're going. Okay, what is another project in that space that I think has a good chance? And that's Iagon. Now, I don't know. It's in an area where there's lots of room for growth, and that's decentralized file storage. Now, understand there's a lot of different competitors in this space, including like Filecoin. But a lot of these are ERC20 tokens, and they're building essentially centralized, a combination of centralization and decentralization. I don't know the Iagon team, but I like that they're in the Cardano ecosystem. I like that they already have a minimum viable product. In fact, you can already sign up for their services. You can pay, I think, $10 a month, get you a certain amount of storage. And that's all great, but it's still early days. Now, I had somebody in my community say, well, shoot, their service is more expensive than Google right now. But Google has had like 20 years in this space. Give projects like Iagon some time. If you were to judge Cardano by where they were at a month after launching their token, well, actually, Iagon's much farther ahead a month after launching their token than where Cardano was. So we'll see where this one goes. I don't know. It's risky. I picked up a whole bunch. Do I know they'll do well? No. But I do like where their chart is going. So it hit these lows, and this is when I covered it. I love buying when prices are down like this. Now, I didn't know for certain that it would pump. I just strongly suspected it would. Guess what happened? Pumped. Okay, then we have this nice pullback, and we see this nice rounded bottom. That's what I like, is these nice rounded bottoms. Now, are there any guarantees it won't go down? No. For me, this is a hold likely for 2 to 4 months or 5 months. Now, if it does pump tremendously from here and goes to 40 cents, I would be stupid not to take some profits on it. In fact, absolutely I will, and I'll get my initial back out. Otherwise, I'm just going to let it continue riding for 3 or 4 or 5 months till it does go crazy, because what I do is I sell high and I buy low. I know that sounds so simple to do, but you would be shocked at how many people don't do this. They buy as things are pumping, and then they sell when they're dumping. Why? Because they're buying based on emotion. Part of the reason, one of the many reasons I started this channel, is to just share with people how to think like an investor, how to really buy low and sell high, because it takes discipline. It takes listening to what your internal senses are telling you to do, but often doing the opposite. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, perhaps you would benefit from it. Now, I don't know, I might be a little bit boring for you. I'm analytical. I'm an analytical person by nature. I think about economics and psychology all the time. I can't even shut it off. It's just the way I'm wired. And I love efficiency, and it's very inefficient for me to FOMO in and then panic sell later. And so, though when I was brand new in 2017, I would say I kind of made some of those decisions. I wasn't new to investing, but I was new to crypto, and I thought the rules that I knew in investing didn't apply the same. They absolutely do. And so in starting this channel, I share with you how those rules made me, I guess, financially free. I was able to quit my job. I could have quit my job a while back, but I really liked who I was working with. Finally quit it 3 months ago because I was actually missing out on too much money in the crypto space, and so literally having that job was costing me too much. So I went full-time just in crypto as well as the YouTube channel to try to bring better value to you. I do want to congratulate, we added a new team member, very smart person in his personal life. He's amazing, and a top company in the world pays him a lot of money to work for them, and he joined us as a researcher, so he knows who he is. I want to congratulate him and thank him for joining the team. Very excited about the type of people that we can attract working with us, have very solid people working with us, and I appreciate each one of them. We have a person from Australia who helps provide the thumbnails and other things she does behind the scenes in YouTube. Wanted to give her a shout out because I love how great she's made our thumbnails, so much better than what I was doing before, and just all the many people behind the scenes, including Nine, that does our who's one of our Telegram moderators and is creating a Discord for us too. All right, on to the next one. So as the Cardano ecosystem goes well, guess what else also goes well? Launchpad projects, and one of the Launchpad projects that has done exceptionally well in the space is CardStarter. Now, as I share with you these prices, I'm not buying any CardStarter. Why? I missed it. Now, I don't know what the IDO price is, but for some reason I'm thinking it was like 10 or 15 cents. By the time it was tradable on the market, it was like $4, and I had a chance to buy it then. It was like at $4.50, and I didn't. Wish I had. Then it went to $80, retraced all the way down to $10. It was a good deal at $10, and now it's pumping again. It's up to $30. So in the last month, it's 3x. Can it 3 or 10x from here? Well, it already has gone to $80 before. My guess is it'll go higher than that. Why? Well, as the ecosystems heat up and tons of new money starts pouring in, guess what does really well during that time period? Launchpads, because everyone wants to buy a project at the very cheapest price, and often the very cheapest price that you have the opportunity to get it at is through a launchpad at their IDO. But in order to get it on that launchpad at their initial DEX offering or initial offering, you have to hold tokens from that launchpad, and CardStarter is one of the launchpads on Cardano. Now, there is another launchpad. I don't know them yet. I've asked for an introduction to them, and I look forward to speaking to them, and that's Occam Finance. And then there's, fun enough, a third one coming that's called Vent Finance, and I have high hopes for Vent Finance. And what I really like about Vent Finance is their token hasn't pumped a lot. Now, don't know what price is going to be available when it hits the general market, and I don't know, I think it's coming up in like 3 weeks or so. It'll be here soon. But if it launches at a pretty low price, it might share a similar trajectory to what CardStarter's token price did. Looking forward to that. The team, I've spoken with the CEO. He's sharp, he's young, but I consider he seems like he's about 28. I mean, that feels pretty young to me. The truth is, though, one of the best TA people I know in this space is like 22. So I guess 28 isn't young at all. That's 6 years older than one of the sharpest TA analysts I know. So looking forward to what they can do. Now, another space within the Cardano ecosystem that's going to be very interesting, and that is the DEX space. Now, I do not know who's going to win this, but one of the projects I'm most excited about, and I think has strong potential to show up as number one, is Adax. Now, Adax launched through a trading market that you probably never heard of called X Markets, and they launched don't know, it was about 6 weeks ago. And I did personally roll the dice through them, and I bought them through that. Like, I didn't know anything about Adax at the time, but they were in a narrative that I liked, which was the Cardano ecosystem. And at the time, I only knew of one other DEX that I had heard of, which is SundaySwap. And I hope SundaySwap is successful, but they've had some major setbacks and had to backtrack on some things. So I was looking at what alternatives were out there, and Adax was one of the first ones I found. Now, I also asked some people I know that know Adax for an introduction, so I can get to know them, and I would love to have them on the channel. So Adax has gone parabolic from, way down here. You could have bought it for 10 cents. I bet everyone in the world wishes they had, because it's now currently 7x from there. 73 cents, as that was 76 cents according to that. Now, what you really want to know is, okay, is like it gone crazy? Have you missed it? Well, their current market cap is 40 million. So not bad. If you looked at Uniswap's market cap, you would find it was in the billions. So where can it go from here? Well, it could go much higher. It could 10x from here, could 40x from here. But what you might want to wait for is a good pullback. Why? You see it had a pullback here, but this was just a little pullback. So it's gone all the way from 37 cents all the way up to 73 cents. And currently sitting at 76 cents. What often happens is there usually is some kind of pullback. Now, who knows where that is? If it goes up way high, that pullback price might still end up being higher than where you are today. But at least when you're buying on a pullback, you know that you're buying a lot lower than the price it has in the past. And that's what I tend to do for projects that I'm looking at, is buy on a pullback. In fact, if I was watching for a pullback here, I wouldn't have even put in a purchase here because it didn't pull back enough. So where is it going from here? In the short term, I don't know. But if you already feel like you missed the boat on this, feel free to wait and not jump in on this. None of this that I'm sharing with you is financial advice as to what you do. Timing is important, and look how much it's pumped here. And so do I jump in and buy after things have pumped? No, I picked up Adax when it was cheap, when nothing was happening. It was scary. I rolled the dice. I didn't know if the team would be solid. They're making the right steps and making the right partnerships that I think they've got a great future, and I can share that with you. As to whether or not this is a good deal, I really don't know. It could, because it's pumped so much, have a pullback and then go up tremendously from here, and it might not. I don't know how it'll play out. I'm just sharing with you the projects that I'm most excited about. Now understand, most everything I share I own, because I don't share with you projects that I don't believe in myself. And trust me, I do get hit up all the time to share projects. When I look at them, I'm very careful on what I talk to you about, because I don't ever want to bring you stuff that I don't believe in. And so if I don't believe in it, I definitely don't cover it. Now, another project that I'm looking at, and I still own some now, I bought Cody back when Cody was boring. If you stick around for the wrap at the end, I specifically had that wrap written while I wrote it, but I had it done in a way so it emphasizes the principles that I talk about, the principles that made me wealthy, that can make all of you wealthy. And so, when I started in crypto 4 years ago, actually that cycle didn't make me wealthy. It didn't. In fact, I ended up below what I'd put in because I didn't understand these cycles. I didn't understand an asset this volatile. A lot of my investments were along real estate, and real estate takes a while to go up and down. So when I did find crypto, I was excited about how fast it goes up and down, because in real estate, if you have to wait for real estate to make you wealthy, it can take you 20 to 40 years. It's a great way to get wealthy over long periods of time. What I liked about crypto was the accelerated cycle. So this last year has changed my financial situation for forever, but I bought when it was really boring in 2018, 2019, 2020, when a lot of people left because it was boring and everything was down, and it is depressing buying when it's down, but then it eventually goes up. So what do? I buy when it's boring, and you'll hear that in the wrap. And so I bought Cody when it was boring. I sold, actually, I think 4/5 of my Cody as it was going up. I still have 20%. And as it went down like this, I absolutely wasn't selling. I wait till it's going up again. And so we got this nice cup here. Maybe it forms a cup and handle and then continues off. Now, Cody wasn't in the Cardano ecosystem, but my understanding is they're moving to it, made some deals with Cardano to build in its ecosystem. And it makes sense for a project like Cody that wants to be the currency of the internet to be in the Cardano ecosystem because of the low transaction fees and the high throughput that Cardano will be able to have, especially once their Hydra solution is implemented. All right, so that's a lot of what I had that was on my mind I want to share with you. Now, coming up, we'll share more on some Solana ecosystem projects. We'll talk about Avalanche, though I can't say I know the Avalanche ecosystem very well, but there will be stuff moving that direction. Avalanche is a project that came kind of out of nowhere and did some really good numbers, but it's still kind of a younger third generation blockchain without a fully developed ecosystem. Truthfully, Cardano doesn't have a fully developed ecosystem, though there's a lot of smart projects moving to Cardano, and that gives me a lot of hope that this ecosystem will be around for forever, because of some of the talented and intelligent people Cardano's able to attract. And the reason why I'm covering it today is because I think it's the first one that's really going to pop off. But then when that happens, it'll be like popcorn popping, and we'll see the other ones pop off, is my guess. I do want to share with you a caveat. Now, if Bitcoin dumps here, and sometimes it does, see how it went up like this, I'd be really shocked if we were in like a bear market. Just know it's always the case that it could be. I'd say it's a really low case, but in crypto there's no guarantees, which is why you have to only play with money you can afford to lose. And the reason is that it gives you the ability to be patient enough to give projects the time to do what they can really do. So we had this big run up, we had this decrease this big run up here. You don't know that it might even do something like this, giving this nice rounded thing here, but it's had a big takeoff like this in Bitcoin. And if it does go down and drop down to say 36,000 or 35,000, guess what will happen with some of the other ecosystem stuff? Oftentimes when this is tanking, well, then people dump their altcoins too. So am I worried about that? I recognize that that's a potential, but it doesn't worry me because I'm going to hold through the time period that if that does happen, and I would give it a 25 to 30% chance that that does happen, that's okay. I'm just going to hold through that time period. So no, that doesn't worry me. What worries me is if all of this goes to zero, and there's a chance of that. The chance is probably equal to a meteor hitting the earth and destroying all the technology, in fact, all the people on the planet. That's my evaluation of the risk anyway. And so if that happens, well, the last thing we need to worry about is money in any way, shape, or form, right? Because we'll be in a survival mechanism, and probably we won't make it if something big like that happens. So, yes, I know some people get panicked in this space, and what if it goes to zero? This is why it's essential to use money that you can afford to lose. It allows you the patience that if something like this does happen, you can just hold on, because it then turns around and takes off. So Cardano's had some massive gains. It's gone up to 260. Do I think it's going higher? Yes, I would weight it pretty high that it's going higher, but we don't know that it's going to happen. But if you're using money that you can afford to be patient on, then you can wait it out and you're not forced to panic sell. Make sense? All right, I really hope you stick around for the whole wrap. I'm going to play it for you now, and this was developed by Charlie out of the UK. I like his accents, a lot of fun. And then Seth, one of our community members, actually Sethified it and added some touches to make it even more fun. So I hope you really enjoy it. Look forward to seeing you next time. If you haven't, I'd love it if you like the video. It really helps us out a lot. Continue to share this message and help people make smarter decisions in their buying. Thanks so much.
Came into the space, chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, you buy before you could. Was told to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always made the time in mind. I stick the one out cause I'm patient like that. And I'll wait for the right time. I'll sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. I don't lead with my heart. Principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, go parabolic, then dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. The time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy but with knowledge to gain show. Sticking out this run cause soon will come a bear market. Learning and growing and when it's slow will be the target. Naysayers come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. I'm sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time the bull will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go with the hate, let the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. This game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, the time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough. And that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.